That is a very good idea. All right, good morning, first and second graders on this very chilly Monday morning. I was not quite ready for it to be this cold. So that was not my plan. Oh, I'm trying to play our song, but for some reason it's moved around on me. Sometimes it doesn't like to acknowledge. I have too many tabs open, and so it doesn't like to acknowledge the ones that I want it to acknowledge. Let's try that again. We'll play a little song. There we go. I like this song because it makes you think about all the different sounds that those letters make. Sophia, could I get you to turn your camera on, please?
The D says, the E says, and it says, the F says, the G says, and it says, the H says, the I says, and it says,
I.
I like to do it.
the J says, the K says, the L says, the M says, the N says, the O says, and ooh. The P says, the Q says, the R says, the S says, and it says, the T says, the U says, and it says, the V says, W says, the X says, the Y says, and it says, and Z says.
And of course, this one, second graders, you're working with that silent E a lot.
I can jump on a vowel, leap over a consonant, and stand next to it quietly. When I do this, I make the vowel say its own name. All I have to do is stay quiet. That is why they call me Silent E. I can change hop to hope. I can change slop to slope. I make a vowel say its name when I play the jumping game. I can change can to cane. I can change plan to plane. I make a vowel say its name when I play the jumping game. Let's try a few more. I can change dim to dime. I can change slim to slime. I make a vowel say its name when I play the jumping game. I can change bit to bite. I can change kit to kite. I make a vowel say its name when I play the jumping game. I can change car to care. I can change star to stare. I make a vowel say its name when I play the jumping game. Wait, I have a few more tricks up my sleeve. You think changing a vowel was easy? I could change C and G just by standing next to them. I can change G to J. I can change K to S. When they stand next to me, I change the C and the G. Let's give it a try. You don't say rack, you say grass.
No!
Wait, stop. I know what you're thinking. I need to change both sounds. You don't say rack, you say grace. You don't say fact, you say face. I change the vowel and the C when they stand next to me. You don't say rag, you say rage. You don't say sag, you say sage. I change the vowel and the G when they stand next to me.
All right, boys and girls. I love those songs because I think they help a lot. Ashlyn, I need you to, or no, I'm sorry. Ashlyn, you're doing just fine. I couldn't see you for a second, but I think it was on my end. All right. So those songs are very helpful because the first one reminds us that there are many different sounds that letters can make, especially those vowels. And the second one reminds us what that E can do. All right. Whoa. Okay, I have a very big book for you to read to you guys this morning. It is called Move. And it's by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. First graders, this week you guys are going to be talking about how people and animals can move in the same ways. Okay, second grade, you guys are going to be talking about families and the work that people do. But first graders, you're going to be talking about movement. And so remember, this is the front cover of your book. The front cover has the title, it has the author and illustrators listed on there. It's the inside move. Animals move in different ways. Swing. A gibbon swings through jungle trees. Or walks on two back legs. Walk. Jacana walks on floating lily pads. Dives. Then dive in to catch a fish. A blue whale dives deep, deep, deep. Swim. And swims below the ocean waves. An armadillo swims across a stream. Leap. And when startled, leaps straight up. A crocodile leaps to snag its meal. As you guys listen to this story, I want you to ask and answer questions. Ask questions to yourself and see if you can answer them by listening to the text. Okay, so ask yourself some questions. So I'm looking for answers to questions I might think about how animals move in both the text and also the illustrations. After slithering silently into the water. Slither. A snake slithers through rustling leaves. Climb and climbs up into a tree. A praying mantis climbs a blade of grass. Fly, then spreads its wings and flies. A roadrunner flies, but not too far. Run. It would rather run to catch its prey. An Arctic hare runs across the ground. Then dances, tumbling with its mate. Dance. A jumping spider dances to impress. float, then floats away on a thread of silk. A polar bear floats in dark, icy water. And slides down a snow-covered hill. Slide. A penguin slides splash into the sea. And waddles with its colony. Waddle. Waddle, slide, float, dance, run, fly, climb, slither, leap, swim, dive, walk, swing. Animals move in different ways. How about you? Move. And then this part of the book has some really fun information about each one of those animals that we looked at. So I'm going to read that for you real quick because I think the information is really cool. White-cheeked gibbons are aerobatic animals that spend their lives in the treetops. Gibbons travel by swinging from branch to branch, sometimes covering more than 30 feet or 9 meters. Second graders, think about those meter sticks. 9 of them, wow, with a single swing. On the ground, they can stand upright and walk on their back legs, just like a person. Gibbons are found in the jungle of Southeast Asia, where they eat plants, insects, and birds' eggs. A large gibbon weighs about 15 pounds. Blue whales are the largest animal that have ever lived. They dive deep into the sea and are very fast swimmers. These huge mammals can move more than 100 feet or 30 meters long, can be more than 100 feet, 30 meters long, and weigh as much as 25 African elephants. Blue whales eat only tiny shrimp-like animals called krill. The African jacana walks across the surface of the water by stepping on floating lily pads. Its long toes and claws spread its weight out and keep it from sinking. This long-legged bird is an excellent diver and swimmer. It eats insects and fish and lives in the wetlands of southern Africa. African jacanas are about 12 inches or 30 centimeters long. The 9-banded armadillo is about the size of a large house cat. It can cross a river by swimming on the surface or by walking across the bottom. On land, this armored mammal looks slow and awkward, but it can move quickly. When surprised, the armadillo can jump straight up in the air, startling an attacker. So it surprises you when you surprise it. Armadillos live in the southern United States and South America. They eat insects and small animals. Strangely, baby armadillos are always born as identical quadruplets. Whoa, what a cool fact. Quadruplets, think about that word quad, means 4. Wow. The Nile crocodile is a huge reptile reaching 20 feet or 6 meters in length. The crocodile lies quietly in the water, waiting for an unsuspecting animal to approach. Then, with a stroke of its powerful tail, it leaps forward and grabs its prey with sharp teeth. Crocodiles often bask in the sun at the edge of a lake or river, slithering down the bank to return to the water. They will eat almost any animal they can catch, sometimes even humans. Whoa. The Nile crocodile lives in rivers and lakes throughout Africa. The colorful corn snake has a flattened belly, which helps it climb trees and walls. Like many other snakes, the corn snake moves over ground with a slithering motion, forming S-shaped loops with its body. Corn snakes live in the southeastern United States and can grow up to 6 feet or 183 centimeters long. They eat rodents and birds and kill their prey by squeezing it to death. The praying mantis holds its front legs folded up in front of its body as if it is praying. The mantis climbs onto a twig or a branch where it looks just like a part of the plant. There, it waits, motionless, until an unlucky insect, lizard, mouse, or small bird wanders by. Then it grabs its prey with spine-covered legs and devours it. After its meal, the big insects, which may be more than 6 inches or 15 centimeters long, can fly to a new hunting spot. Praying mantises live in most warm and tropical parts of the world. Praying mantises also live here in Jackpot. You know, this year, I think I only saw 2 praying mantises, but the year before, I think I caught 17 praying mantises around my house. 17. That's crazy. I really like this word devours. It says, then it grabs its prey with spine-covered leg and devours it. And if I didn't know what the word devours meant, I could keep reading. After its meal. Now it just used 2 words to help me figure out what devour means. It used the word prey. And if I know what prey means, prey is what animals hunt for, right? And then it uses the word meal. So by that, I can figure out that the word devour means to eat, and to kind of gobble it up. Who devoured their breakfast this morning? Can I see a show of hands? Thumbs up. The roadrunner is a desert bird that lives in the southwestern United States and Mexico. It can fly for short distances with its stubby wings, but it is better than running than flying. It can move along the ground faster than most humans can run. The roadrunner eats insects, lizards, snakes, and mice, and it's about 22 inches or 56 centimeters long. The Arctic hare lives in northern Canada. Its fur is brown in the summer, but turns white in the winter when the ground is covered with snow. When threatened, the Arctic hare runs, using its powerful back legs to escape danger. During the spring, males and females perform an elaborate courtship dance, taking turns somersaulting over each other. The Arctic hare is up to 2 feet or 61 centimeters long and feeds on twigs and roots. The male jumping spider performs a dance to impress a female jumping spider, waving its bright red abdomen back and forth. This tiny spider is only about 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters long. The jumping spider can float through the air by ballooning, which is spinning a silk thread that is caught by the wind. And of course, it can jump up to 40 times its body length. So asking myself questions earlier in the text, I thought, well, what does it mean by a spider dancing? And now I kept reading and it kind of described that to me, right? It says it performs a dance to impress a female. So now I know why it dances, to impress the ladies, right? Waving its bright red abdomen. And if I can't remember what an abdomen is, that's where I can use the picture. Oh, that part right there is the abdomen of a spider. So it waves that part back and forth to kind of do a dance to impress the girl spiders. Ooh. The polar bear, the largest of all the bears, may be 10 feet or 3 meters long. It lives in the Arctic and has a thick layer of fat that keeps it warm and helps it float in the icy water. A strong swimmer and fearsome predator, the polar bear is also a playful animal, rolling in the snow and sliding down snow-covered hills. These bears eat seals, walruses, fish, and caribou. Penguins. Penguins live in the southern hemisphere, so a penguin would never meet a polar bear in the wild. Penguins waddle slowly on the ground, but when they slide or dive into the water, they are swift and graceful swimmers. The largest of these flightless birds are emperor penguins, which can be 4 feet, 122 centimeters tall. Oh my goodness, that penguin's almost as tall as Miss Kennison. That penguin would probably come up to here on me at 4 feet tall. He'd come up to my shoulders. Can you imagine meeting a bird that tall? Pretty cool. All right. They spend much of their time in the sea where they feed on fish and shrimp. That is the end of our very big book. So as we read that book and we talked about what some of those things meant at the end, I wanted you to think and see how animals move in that story. And think about how that compares to how you guys move. Do I usually see first graders and second graders slithering on the floor? Not usually. When I do, I'm usually a bit concerned because I say first and second graders shouldn't be slithering on the floor, right? So I like to think about how different animals moved, and it was really good about describing that for us. Elizabeth, did you have a question about the story or something you wanted to add?
I liked when the spider was dancing.
I did too. I really liked the spider dancing, and I liked how at the end we were able to figure out what that meant. Because who had questions when we read the first part that said a spider danced? I know I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? I was imagining the spider doing like cha-cha-cha. What about, what's another dance? The floss? Did you guys think the spider was doing the floss? Who knew that the spider dancing meant it was waving its abdomen, which, as we saw from the picture, is kind of the bottom of the spider. It was kind of waving them around. Who knew that? Thumbs up if you already knew that. Thumbs down if that was new information. Ooh, I see a lot of you already kind of knew about the abdomen and thought about how a spider might dance. Well, you guys are very good thinking kids, because I wouldn't have thought that the first time I read the book. All right, Troy, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, it's about the snake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna like do chores around the whole entire house and get myself a pet one.
Okay, so that sounds like it's a little bit more about you and less about the story, right? That's something that I would love to hear later, but right now we're talking about the story and how animals move. Jaya, do you have said something about the story and how animals move? Or are you going to talk about your pet? Because we're not talking about our pets right now. Okay.
A penguin can be even taller than me because it goes up to your shoulder.
Right. If an emperor penguin, which is the tallest of all the penguins, goes up to about my shoulders at 4 feet tall, it would be taller than Jaya. How crazy is that? Cambry, did you have something you wanted to share about the story? We missed you last week, Cambry, on a lot of days. Missed seeing you.
I like the spider dancing too.
Like the spider? All right, Danny, you've been waiting very patiently. I see you there. What would you like to share?
I think the bunny is my favorite because I love the soft animals. It makes me want to cuddle.
Yeah, and I used to have a bunny that we had in the classroom, and the bunny would run around and it would kind of kick, but I never got to see it do kind of the somersaults like those, said those rabbits like to do together. So I thought that was pretty cool. Amy?
I like the part where the polar bear slides on its belly and it can float on the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like the word slide, right? In there that describes how it's moving. Slide, and then I think the other way it moved was floating, right? It talked about it floating in the water. Maybe, let's see. I'm checking back in the text when I don't remember. I checked the text to answer my question. Let's see if I can find it now. So swim and leap, slither. And I talked about the crocodile slithering on its belly into the water. Lie. A polar bear floats, right? So that word float to talk about one way that they can move. I don't think polar bears like to float, just float around for too long. I do think that their other action in the water is a lot of swimming, right? To catch whatever it is they're after in the water. Rudy?
Want to see what my grandpa got me from Twin?
Oh, you know what? I'd love to see that, Rudy. Let's do that after we're done with our discussion, okay?
Okay.
Miranda, do you have something about the story to share about how animals move?
The polar bears like to swim around because they find fish and they eat them.
Yes, they find food to eat in the water, huh? Very good. Okay, Hayden, is that a raised hand or was your hand just in your mouth? Hayden?
It was kind of in my mouth, and it's kind of out of my mouth.
Okay, but about the story.
The story, I liked every single one.
Okay, thank you, boys and girls. I thought you guys had some very good ideas and thoughts about what the animals in that book were, how they were moving. I want to talk really quick about ways that humans move, right? Compared to some of those movements. Very, very quickly. Can people swing? It talked about how the gibbons were swinging through the trees. Can people do that? Thumbs up if people can swing. A little bit. Maybe some of you might have a hard time swinging, or maybe we swing in different ways. I know some of you get on the swings and swing that way. Let's talk about the next word, walk. Now, this is something that everyone should do. Walk, right? Dive. Who of you can dive? Some of you might not know how to dive right now, but you might know how to dive. You might learn how to dive later, right? Practice that on the swimming pool, at the swimming pool. When the swimming pool finally opens up after you've had swimming lessons and stuff, then you can practice diving into the swimming pool. But only with a parent or a grown-up or somebody there with you. Don't do it without a
Have to dive.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Swim. A lot of you, I've seen some of you even at the swimming pool practicing to swim. Leap. Leap. That's what the armadillo does. When it's startled, it leaps into the air. All right. How many of you can leap into the air? I bet Amy can do it. Oh, Elizabeth can definitely leap into the air. All right, let's talk about the next one, slither. Slither. Now, we talked about how animals and snakes can slither a little bit better than humans, right? But I bet you guys can slither a little bit at least. If you're on the ground, you can kind of slither away. All right, let's talk about that next word, climb. How many humans do you know that can climb? I bet all of you can practice climbing. Something little or something big.
Because
You can climb on stairs. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, fly. Here's a word. Can you guys fly?
yeah, in an airplane.
Yeah, in an airplane, but not without, unless you have some like special equipment, like those glider things. And even then, you're not really flying. You're just kind of gliding, or but you have to use a special equipment. You can't just hop up and start flapping your arms and start flying, can you? No. All right, next word, run. Ooh, I know you guys can all run.
yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Dance. Now, I bet your dance looks a lot different than a spider's dance, huh? I know Owen's got some wicked dance moves. I've seen them before. I've seen a lot of your guys' dance moves. Oh, Troy's showing off some dance moves.
Miss,
Float. Float. Oh, yeah, Amy's got dance moves at the wazoo. I've seen your dance moves. Slide. You guys have all can go down a slip and slide. Waddle. Can you waddle like a penguin? Right? Keep your feet together and just kind of waddle along. Okay. So we talked about a lot of those moves we can do too, but they're not our moves like all the time. Kind of like they might be in animals' moves. All right. Thank you, boys and girls, for coming to our meeting. You guys were very good listeners. I saw most of you eyes up, ears listening. Some of you had little hands popping into the air to ask questions, or I could see you thinking about the text. That was great listening skills. Some of you guys, you can continue to practice those skills a little bit more. Some of you really need to focus on doing that. All right. If I know a couple of you really quick, I need to talk to Cambry for a minute. Okay. And if and then Rudy, you said you wanted to share something with me real quick. Everybody else, you may go. Cambry, please stay on. And Rudy, if you still wanted to share that with me, stay on. But everybody else.
bye.